Hi, back again with another book for the Magical Library. Um, this book I've talked about in Witch Know Thyself video, and I've talked about Dion Fortune before. This book here is going to be hard to read. Is Psychic Self-Defense by Dion Fortune. The first copy I had was a more modern copy, a paperback, and my daughter found this older edition of the book. It was first written in 1930s. That's how old the book is. Like I've said before, Dion Fortune was in the early bringing up of the Golden Dawn, and she was born to parents that were Christian Scientists, is what they called them at that time. And this book delves into her experiences with people who were doing a couple of psychic attacks on her when she was almost in a boarding school type situation. And she takes you through different kinds of psychic attacks. It says types of psychic attacks, the signs of a psychic attack, some analysis of the nature of a psychic attack, projection, the pathology of non-human contacts, because sometimes it's not a person that's causing the psychic attack. Also, the problems involved with people. It's like the psychic element in mental disturbance and mental illness. Also, the non-occult dangers, the occult dangers, actually meeting things on the astral plane that you may not, be aware that are there that can attach. Motives of psychic attacks and the diagnosis and the defense of. This book tells you a lot of the early thoughts and psychologies on it. She also talks about vampirism and things like that. I think that this one was the one that actually made me understand that to be a worker in this kind of field, that there were certain things that you needed to learn to do. You needed to make sure that your environment was cleaned of the smudging. You clear your space. You put that circle up. You be careful of your correspondences. You understand that not everything is going to have your best interest when you're working these with, like, especially elementals. That you can bring in thought forms, and you need to know from beginning to end how you work these things and release these things. Some things can stay attached, and although I even read, and I can't remember what book it was, where the lady, she said that she had created these little elementals. They were almost like pets. And she had two of them. One that was near her front door area, and one that liked to be in her bedroom a lot. And she likened them to having like psychic pets, like they were puppies or something. and that they would be mischievous sometimes, but they got to like them in the house. It was like having two little gremlins in the house. And I kind of felt that a little disturbing, because the way the person was talking about it was creating these little things and not understanding that wasn't a very hygienic way of performing magic, and that these little entities can start taking on lives of their own. However, they don't have higher thought forms, and therefore they can be extremely mischievous, and they can do damage, and they can do harm, and they can have primal emotions. And so to just let them run rampant in her home with her children seemed a bit unnecessarily unsafe. Now, everyone out there can do what they wish. It's not for me to judge somebody else's home, but at the same time, I don't find that it would be a practice that I would want to do. So learning your techniques, and this was just one source of what brought it to my attention, and where I started going deeper into the research of it as to the different types, because there are a lot of different forms of psychic attack, and there are sometimes, like she said, sometimes it's from the astral, sometimes it's, again, when in my video, which know thyself, sometimes it's the energies of astrology that are actually hitting you and impacting you. Sometimes it's people are just sucking the life out of you. Empaths in particular really need to learn their protection and keep up sort of like a semi-shield at all times, so that you can have the empathy without the person sucking every bit of energy out of you. Empaths, if they do not learn these techniques as they are growing up, tend to have a lot of issues with these things later on in life, when you really start meeting people who have a lot more energy to pull out of you than when it was just your friends in elementary school, or junior high or high school. The older you get, it seems that you can find more severe issues involved in the empath that has never learned to set certain boundaries. There's many ways to learn those boundaries, and learning basic human psychology, and also understanding how to put those blocks up for yourself to where you're not totally drained. Just because you're an empath that's not necessarily a good thing at times. I was an empath, and what I learned, it took a while, but I learned an apathy that had to come into play there too. The opposite of empathy is apathy, and learning a lot of different energy works can also teach you how to block anything that the healers have to do, because empaths generally become healers. But in learning how to become an energy worker, you learn how not to let the energy, like in Reiki, you never let the energy come up beyond the elbows. And I would strongly advise any empath, who tends to be the worst cases of psychic attacks are on empaths, whether it's not because someone's literally wanting to attack you, it's because the empath feels everything, and injured souls around you gravitate to where they can pull energy from, and the empath is a likely target. And they don't even know that 90% of the time they don't even know they're doing it. So it's not like it's a personal decision, I'm going to attack this person today. It isn't like that. It is more of a secret vampirism where they're pulling all your spiritual blood out of you because they've got so many holes in them that it's just leaking out like a sieve, and they're trying to maintain an energy level. And anytime they're around someone that they can freely exchange that energy and pull it in, they feel better for the moment, but that energy just keeps leaking out. So any empath, I would also advise that you actually take the time to start learning techniques such as Reiki or any other kind of energy working, to where you first learn how to block to where it doesn't go into your aura farther than your elbows. Learn how to cleanse and always slough off all of the stuff coming from somebody like that, and how to protect when you need to, and also how to heal. Because these people that are doing this are generally gravitating to you because they sense that you're a person who might be able to help. And in that realm, and that's why I became a Reiki master, is because I needed to heal myself. Needed to heal myself because I was ripped to shreds and I was leaking energy everywhere. And in healing myself, I learned to heal others as well. And then I could use my empathy and my empathic tendencies to actually help people, and that is a wonderful feeling. But I could help people without being the victim at the end of it, and that changes your whole world when you learn to do that. So if you're an empath, I would highly suggest that you look into energy workings such as Reiki and many other modalities. To learn to block the negativity coming into you, and also learning to heal these people who are naturally gravitating to you. So that's all I'm going to talk about on that video, but just blessed be, and if y'all have any questions, just leave it at the bottom of the thing, and maybe I can link some other books or resources for some of the self-defense, or the helping an empath live a stronger, healthier life without being so drained by everything and everybody. Thanks, and y'all have a wonderful day. Blessed be.